In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I am Lawrence Pressman. He is Teddy Covers. We are the old guys on the show. Teddy, what is going on the show?
Well, we have a loaded Tuesday edition. Andrew McInnis is going to join us right on the top. He's going to talk Ducks, Kings, Devils, Hurricane, and Martin Necas props for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. So a trio of NHL opinions from Andrew McInnis to open the show. And we got Moneyline Matt. He's going to switch our focus to the NBA. We're going to talk John Morant props and the Knicks aren't playing Denver tonight, are they? No.
That's what
Knicks
Dan
are playing.
said. Yeah, Dan.
Yeah. They're playing.
Yeah, Dan.
Knicks versus the Warriors tonight.
Genius.
Right now, New York -5, total 222. My big game breakdown for this evening will be for this afternoon. We're going to talk Potato Bowl today. San Jose and Eastern Michigan. That game kicks off in about, 3.5 hours. And to close out the show, of course, Dave Sharapan. That is what our show looks like for Tuesday. Prez?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited, man. It's going to be a great show. Before we get into that, Teddy, I want to quickly mention I do have a 5% play up in hockey tonight. I don't have these plays very often. First 5% in 9 days. So, guys, check that out over at WagerTalk. We have an incredible offer going, a Christmas special. Basically, load up your cart and you get 25% off. So if you want to buy, my 5% play today with Teddy's NBA season, put it all in a cart, you get 25% off. That offer is good until Christmas. Teddy, before we bring Andrew McInnis on, so prior to the show, handsome Moneyline Matt gets on and he starts taking shit out of his mouth. I'm like, dude, what is in your mouth? He's what they call in America a dipper. Is that what a dipper?
If you're in the know, yeah, you're dipping. You're dipping.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the at least it was when I was dipping.
You dipped?
So I guess you're a dipper. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
back
tried
in the day, of course, yeah.
Dude, I tried to dip last night, and Vivian got way too hammered at the restaurant. There was no dipping in the Prez man household. Speaking of which, you seriously put tobacco in your mouth and chewed it?
You don't chew it. It just sits between your cheek and your gum, and you
just sits
spit
there.
It just sits there for a while, yeah. And you get that little thing.
Hey, Jess, we missed you yesterday. How was your weekend with the Prez All Access, baby? Woo! So, Teddy, back to the dipping. It's not a big Canadian thing. We don't chew tobacco. We inject it through our toes. A friend of mine went to school in America, and he came back a dipper. And we go to the bar, and this guy is trying to pick up women like this. Hi, my name is Brian. Would you like to go on a date tonight? I mean, no. There is no chance you're picking up women spitting black, brown tobacco out of your mouth. Who does such a thing? I've done it once. It was so vile. I have no words for dippers. Why?
Well, I mean, clearly, your one experience wasn't a good one. If your one experience had been a good one, you might think about it a very different way. As with so many people, try something once, oh, that sucks, I'll never do that again. All right, well, you had a different experience with the first time. My first dipping, the first time I dipped was on St. Patty's Day. I couldn't have been drunker, and I thought, this is great. And then I started dipping a little. So, yes, it's not.
How long did you dip for?
Talking to women with a dip in your mouth, I can't say that it's necessarily going to be successful, but at the same time, the guys that dip are dipping, man. It is what it is.
I got to tell you,
if she likes you with dip in your mouth, that makes it even more worthwhile.
Listen, if you've seen Moneyline Matt, I think the dip just balances him out. I think he still picks up the women, even with that shit in his mouth. Andrew McInnis, you dip?
I have tried it one time, and it led to my head being in a toilet bowl for about 15 minutes. So that's about my experience with
what
that.
happened?
And
How did you swallow it?
I didn't purposely do it, but yeah, because we were joking around before the show. I was saying with Teddy about how there's you can get the pouches, or you can just put the chew. And I've actually tried it twice. The first time was just the chew, and then I definitely swallowed some of it. And then the second time, the pouches were a lot better. But Prez, I would say in Canada, look, it's a hockey culture thing. Lots of hockey going on in Canada. When these guys are riding on the bus, the teams that aren't having private planes, if you're in the bus and you've got nothing to do for 8 hours, that's what I know. Some of the guys that I know that have played junior hockey, that's what they're doing. So
Teddy,
the guy that gave me my first dip, that taught me how to dip, was a hockey player. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that's
if you have nothing to do, stick tobacco in your mouth, and that gives you something to do.
But Prez is right about the toes thing, though. I do know people, because some people they lose feeling in certain areas. If they lose feeling here, they'll move down to here, and if they lose feeling in their mouth overall, they're putting it in their toes and that kind of stuff. But Prez, I gotta ask you something though. I got a bone to pick with you. I'm gonna call you out on the show right now. I'm speaking on behalf of all the WagerTalk Today guests, because whether somebody has their hair messy that they're fixing before the show, or they're telling you a secret or doing something, should we all be aware if we're backstage, whatever we say or do is going to get announced on the show? If I told you a secret before the show, is everybody finding out about that? I just wanted to make that very clear, that anybody else from WagerTalk that goes on this show, make sure when you're on, you're ready to go, because Prez is going to announce whatever. I'll never forget when Kelly was on and you said, well, Kelly was just fixing her hair to everybody on the show. I'm sure she didn't want that to be announced, but that's Prez for you.
Yeah, you know what, Andrew, listen, and this is a bone of contention in my relationship with Vivian. The joke comes first. Nothing gets in the way of a joke. So if I think it's funny, I'm saying it. Anyway, and the reason we're talking about that, guys, is because Andrew's literally wearing a jockstrap under his shirt. He accidentally got up before the show started, and he didn't want me to mention it. So there you go, Andrew. I didn't mention it. LA Kings.
I won't mention that I saw you putting in your Just for Men on your beard before the show, but you didn't like how it was looking, so you had to stop it, and now it's all uneven. And
oh, that's so funny, Andrew. I'm one of the 10% of the people on this planet that can't dye my hair.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say you're the you sign my check, shut up, or something like that. I thought you were going to tell me you're my boss.
Dude, I used to sign your checks. I don't anymore. Let's get into this. LA Kings, Anaheim Ducks, -275 for the Kings here. Can't touch that. Maybe in regulation, a total of 6.5. Curious how you're going in this game. Fill us in, brother.
Well, you take a look at the Anaheim Ducks. They're on a pretty big road trip. This is the last game of their road trip. And the interesting thing is that usually I expect teams to start better and then slowly get worse. Well, it's actually quite the opposite for this Anaheim Ducks team, as they've looked pretty good in their past couple games, actually putting a couple goals in. And I take a look at this LA Kings team and what they've done recently. They've scored a few goals themselves. They've got their top players kind of playing better finally, as they kind of went through a little bit of a slump. But yeah, like you mentioned, this minus 275 price tag is not something I would want to touch. But you take a look at this Ducks team, it might surprise you because they don't always score. Their games have gone over in 7 of the last 8, and that's where I'm going here. It's a typical angle I look at quite a bit for a team on the last game of their road trip. LA has been patiently waiting for them to come to town, and I think these teams can get up and over the total here, and we're getting plus 100 here on the 6.5. Anaheim is in the bottom 5 in all defensive categories, including shots given up per game, dangerous scoring chances, shots in the diamond. So pretty much all those categories, they give up chances. And LA, well, it wouldn't surprise me either if they did take the Ducks a little bit lightly after they've been playing some tougher competition. And we do see that happen. So I like the over 6.5 here, an angle I play quite a bit for a team like Anaheim that's not very good at the end of their road trip.
Andrew says, take a look at the Ducks and the Kings over the total in late night West Coast NHL action. Let's talk about a game that tipped kicks. What do you say with hockey? What dropped? The puck drops.
Yeah.
Where the puck drops about 3 hours earlier, 3.5 hours earlier. That would be the Devils and the Hurricanes. New Jersey was the hottest team in the NHL. They've cooled off a bit of late. Right now, I'm seeing Carolina, minus 115, minus 120. Total sitting at 6. What do we do with this one? A little bit of juice to the under on that 6 in Devils, Hurricanes. What are we going to do with that one?
Well, Teddy, here's an expression I got from you. Ride the hot, fade the cold. Sometimes it's as simple as that, and that's what we have here in this situation in this hockey game. I mean, the NHL has been so streaky this year. We've seen some teams go on big winning streaks, then losing streaks. And, there's so many teams you can classify in that, those patterns. And I think we're going to see that from the Devils. We've already seen the regression, and I'm expecting that to continue here. The Carolina Hurricanes at minus 120, getting a cheap price like this. They're playing some of their best hockey. And really, a lot of it goes down to their defense. They're a team that doesn't need to score 4 or 5 goals to win a hockey game. They can score 2 or 3 goals and defend so well, and they have good goaltending as well, that they'll keep their opponent out of their own end, and that will help them quite a bit. So this is one of those reasons where I'm taking a look at the schedule here. I'm taking a look at New Jersey, dropping games to teams like Philadelphia, Florida, a Dallas team, and in that span, they scored 1 goal in 2 of those games. They've only scored over 3 goals once. And Carolina right now just shutting teams down, finding ways to win. So, again, it's a ride the hot, fade the cold scenario. And let's not forget, Prez, you know all about this. Carolina, the way they play at home, they're one of those teams that you want to have your eye on as far as home ice advantage. I'm not a huge guy as far as, home ice advantage and this team's on the road and this and that. But some teams you just have circled for playing really, really well and protecting home ice. Carolina is one of those teams. I'm sure you'd agree there, Prez.
Yeah, I do, Andrew. And I also think Carolina is a bet on team moving forward. I am a bit concerned about this game because New Jersey's too good to go on an incredibly extended losing streak. I think they've lost 5 in a row. I'm with you. Carolina makes a lot of sense here. I am just personally nervous, but it is probably my 3rd or 4th favorite play on the card today. Jessica says she likes the Leafs today. Jessica, I'm with you 100%. Actually, if you go and look at the free pick page over at WagerTalk, I did a write-up on the Leafs today, so we're on the same page. Guys, it's $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. Andrew McInnis is the featured handicapper. He has a 5% play up tonight. It is only $2. Literally last year, Andrew was the number 1 NHL handicapper by far, over 150 units of profit. 4-1 this year in his 5% NHL plays. So make sure to take advantage of that. It is a 5% NHL hockey play. It is only $2 as well. At Sports Memo, we have 3 handicappers for $5. Moneyline Matt, R&R totals, and the wonderful Dion D'Amico. You get all three of those plays for only $5. Andrew, let's get into your prop bet. Martin Negas. What do you got? What are we doing with him?
Well, guys, so for shots on goal, usually you see 1.5, 2.5, or 3.5 as far as what the number is for the prop. For the really good players, like a guy like Austin Matthews or Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, sometimes you will see a 4.5. Well, why am I bringing this up? Because personally, I don't usually bet minus 160s or 65s for anything, side totals, props especially. But I'm very curious as to why this number hasn't been moved to 3.5 quite yet. This is a guy that has hit this prop over in 11 of his last 13 games. He has hit this, consistently all season long, but they have refused to change this. And his opponent tonight, the Devils, well, they actually do rank, pretty high as far as, I believe they're like top 3 in the league as far as shots allowed per game. They don't allow a lot of shots. So I understand why this might be, this price, and they maybe didn't elevate it to 3.5 for this game. But this is one of those props that I can't ignore. I don't want to ignore this anymore, And for a while I was saying to myself, man, I don't like that price. I don't like that price. On certain lines, there's the playmakers, there's the passers, and there's the guys that are the finishers. And it seems like that right now, with Martin, he is the guy that is going to continuously shoot. When he gets the puck on his stick, he is looking to score. He's not looking for his teammates. He's not looking to go down low and skate around. He is looking to shoot from all angles. Guys, this is one of those ones where the trend is your friend. I wanted to bring it to people's attention because I know it's a high price. I know it's not a good, juicy plus money. But this is one of those ones where 11 of his last 13 against good opponents, bad opponents, he's cashing in for us. I'm going to rock with it once again here with Martin Negas.
Andrew McInnis, everybody. Remember, he is the $2 Tuesday handicapper, 5% NHL play. Andrew, anything else before we let you go?
We do have a promo going on over on Puck Time, but you can use the promo code PT30 to take $30 off a 7-day all-access pass. And we always try and promote the longer-term packages. Of course, there's 3-day, 7-day, 1 month. I think 7 days is a great chance to get a good idea of how somebody handicaps and how many plays they give out. So you can use that PT30, take $30 off a 7-day pass. But just want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Stay safe. Call an Uber, call a taxi. And we love watching, we love having you guys all watching our shows. And we want that to remain that way. So everyone be safe and enjoy your holidays.
Andrew McInnis, everyone. Teddy, speaking of calling an Uber, a really quick story my mother told me a few nights ago. This is actually important for all you people out there with daughters. My mother and father have a place in the Polo Club in Boca. There is a beautiful 21-year-old South African girl who works there in the wintertime. In the summer, she lives in New York. This past summer, she gets into an Uber by herself. There is a female driver. The female driver says to her, "There's traffic up ahead. We're just going to go around it and take a different route. Is that okay?" She said yes. The Uber driver pulls over onto the street. 2 men get in with a needle. She literally was able to kick her way out of the car, ran to the subway station, and got away. There is a freaking trafficking ring going on with freaking Uber. I got a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old daughter. I won't let them go alone in Uber anymore. It's unbelievable. Anyway, that's my story. I know you don't care. What did we learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Sure, let's do a little what bettors learned from last night. And it was a weekend of tough beats in the NFL. Whether you had the Colts on the money line, when they had a 33-0 lead at kickoff, the rest, the biggest comeback in NFL history. The Bucs 17-point halftime lead in Brady. He'd never lost a game with a 17-point halftime lead, found a way to lose one this week. The Raiders winning when the Pats had the unbelievable brain fart with zeros on the clock. And then last night, with the total sitting at 39.5, and it's 36 early fourth quarter. Aaron Jones into the red zone. Green Bay's going to score again, but he fumbles it away. The Packers get it back. 8:51 left. They march down the field. They convert on fourth down. They get to the 1-yard line. Aaron Jones again doesn't punch it in. And then they take 3 knees, and the game lands right on 36. You had over 39.5 last night. That was no fun whatsoever. And sometimes it goes that way. Sometimes you're on the right side of these. For every bad beat, there's also a lucky win. You know, for everyone that cashed was hoping for the over last night, there's someone that cashed an under bet last night. For everyone that had, the Colts on the money line, there's someone that had the Vikings on the money line. So there is the other side of the equation. Nonetheless, Prez, you had over last night. That one stung. One of many that stung over the week.
Back to you, Prez. Oh, why, thank you, Teddy. Guys are talking about the fact that we're both all in black. No, it wasn't planned. Was not planned. And I don't know if Teddy's wearing black. It might be a dark green.
Yeah, this is gray. This is actually a gray jacket with a black shirt underneath, but it's not my color is not coming out appropriately.
Yeah, so if that jacket is gray, what is your hair?
White.
Yeah, there you go. Moneyline Matt cracking himself up. What up, dude? Nice to have you on, man. We really wearing black as well.
Oh, yeah.
How are you, brother?
Representing Detroit, as always. Appreciate you guys having me on. It's a great day, ready to talk some basketball. And we've been running real hot in the NFL. So excited to give something out for $2 Tuesday over there. And, we're up. Actually, the NFL past 30 days, 32, 18-2, 64% up 46 units.
Jesus, you even sound like Kyle Anthony. You and Kyle doing a UFC show?
Yeah. Me, Kyle, and Andy.
Yeah. Tell us about that. How often does it go on? When is it is it live? Fill us in.
Yeah, so the show is every Thursday at 5 p.m. It's myself, Kyle Anthony, and Andy Lang. We break down every single UFC card. We each choose or break down the main event, do like a parlay buster, a money line to bet, a fight that'll go the distance. So we cover a little bit of everything and definitely go a little heavier on the bigger cards. But for any UFC fan, it's a great show to tune into. We each have kind of different styles and how we view fights and break them down. And it's a ton of fun. You know, the UFC is one of the fastest growing sports, not only in the United States, but throughout the world now.
Yeah, that is for sure. Do you do it while chewing tobacco or no?
No, that was just usually when I write, I'll throw a nice dip in. And for me, I actually got started when I was in high school playing travel baseball and stuff like that.
So
it was a big
last
thing.
Year.
Last year. Yeah, I wish. But we do that. Got started with baseball and stuff, and it's a habit I have not been able to kick just yet. But like you said, it evens out things for me. So some girls like it, some girls don't, but it's all good.
Hey, listen, my attitude is if a girl likes a guy who chews tobacco in her face, she's probably an animal
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Dan, I think we need to rewind and edit that. I'm already getting texts from HR. Woo, Teddy. This might be Teddy and my last show together. Thank you all for watching Wager Talk today. Matt, let's get into it, brother. Jay Morant, I mean, just such an exciting player. Absolutely love watching him. You've got a prop bet for us on him. Let's start there.
Yeah, for sure. John Morant, like you said, one of my favorite players in the league. Got his jersey right behind me, as you can see. But, this is kind of one of those spots. John Morant is coming off a game where he was ejected because he complained about the refs to a fan. Okay, I think we can all agree that's a little ridiculous. But John Morant is one of those players who he takes things very personal. And he also wants to make an MVP run at this point in time. And there's no better team to face than the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have given up the second most points per game to point guards, the fourth most rebounds per game to point guards, and the fifth most assists per game to point guards. And that's why we're going with a PRA here, a points, rebounds, assists, over 44.5. This is also a player in John Morant where his last game against the Denver Nuggets, he had 38 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. So he does play good against this Denver Nuggets team as well. And, this is just one of those spots on top of that. The Memphis Grizzlies still do not have Desmond Bane, who is the number 2 on that Memphis Grizzlies team to Ja Morant. And one thing that I like to tell everyone is when a team is missing a key guy like that, it's not always a bad thing because that usage percentage has to go somewhere. That volume, that opportunity. And the guy who picks that up is Ja Morant. So in this spot, once again, Ja Morant's going to have a high volume game. He's going to have a high output game. And it's also a game that has a 1.5 point spread, so it should stay close throughout. And it has a 234.5 total, which means a lot of points should be scored. And if it's the Memphis Grizzlies scoring the points, I think Ja Morant is going to have a lot to do with it. And he's one of those guys on top of that. He's a very good rebounding point guard. He's one of the guys who likes to get the ball, outlet it up to his teammates as fast as possible. This is a Memphis Grizzlies team who has one of the top paces in all of the NBA as well. So for me, I really love the look of Ja Morant tonight with the over 44.5 points, rebounds, assists.
So just real quick, Jamal Murray, who in theory would be defending Ja Morant for stretches this evening, he's questionable tonight. Does it matter to you if Murray plays defensively for Denver? Is that an issue or not?
So not really. Jamal Murray isn't one of the top defenders throughout the NBA. He's actually rated pretty low in terms of overall defense. And then if he does not play, then someone like Bones Highland will slide into the game. And someone like Bones Highland, he's a very big offensive player. He's one of those guys where a lot of the damage that he does is on the offensive end. And when you have guys like that, they tend to kind of slack on defense a little bit to try and stay out of foul trouble, to try and get their full minutes, things like that. And someone I actually expect to guard him a lot is going to be Bruce Brown. And, Bruce Brown is a decent defender, but as we know, Ja Morant is one of those guys who he can kind of take on anyone. And when you have Steven Adams coming out to the top of the key, running that pick and roll, you're going to get a lot of switches, and you're going to get that defender that you want because of that switching at the top. So, again, the defender doesn't really matter to me. And with the Denver Nuggets on top of that, they are one of the worst teams in terms of points given up by point guards. So, regardless of who's defending Ja, I just think this is a great spot for him, and I think he's going to show out tonight.
Moneyline Matt joining us, everyone. You can find him at Sports Memo. Moneyline Seth S., a loyal fan of the show, writes, Prez, can you imagine next year's meet and greet with Kyle and Matt? No Miss, Mrs., or Ms. will be safe. That's Teddy's already texted me. I'm not bringing Kara to the meet and greet next year. Just not going to happen.
I do some damage in Vegas, so I'm excited.
Yeah. You think? Yeah, no doubt. No freaking doubt. Oh, my God. That is too funny. Okay, dude. Knicks -5 against Golden State. How are we betting this game?
Yeah, so for me right here, the Golden State Warriors travel on the road to face off against the New York Knicks. And this is a spot where the Golden State Warriors are in the middle of a 6-game road trip and are coming off that win against the Toronto Raptors. And, that was a win, though, where Jordan Poole had 43 points to help push that team over the edge. And no other player on the Golden State Warriors scored 20. And when facing the New York Knicks, kind of what you guys said earlier, ride the hot team, fade the team that's playing bad. And that team that's been playing bad is the Golden State Warriors. And the team that's been playing really good basketball is actually the New York Knicks. And they've actually really been getting it done on the defensive end. The New York Knicks are now the 8th ranked team in overall adjusted defense throughout the NBA. And I think that's something that could give the Golden State Warriors trouble tonight because the Warriors are going to be without Steph Curry, as we know. They're going to be without Andrew Wiggins on top of that, 2 key guys. And then they also have a lot of game time decisions coming into this matchup as well, with someone like Klay Thompson, with someone like Dante DiVincenzo, Jonathan Kuminga, who are all key guys coming off that bench, not only scoring, but also in terms of defense, okay? And when you break this down a little more, like I was saying, the Warriors haven't been playing very good, and the Knicks have. This is a Golden State Warriors team who is 3-14 straight up on the road and 4-13 against the spread. So for me, I really do like the look of this Knicks team here just because Jalen Brunson has been playing very good basketball. Julius Randle is someone who tends to play pretty good against the Golden State Warriors as well. That matchup with Draymond Green and Julius Randle, I think, can be a good one as well. And if, in fact, Julius Randle can get Draymond Green in any sort of foul trouble, this Warriors team is going to be in a lot of trouble in this matchup. And I think it's just too much for Jordan Poole. You know, they're putting a lot of faith in Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson. And this is a team that was losing on the road when Steph Curry was absolutely dominating. You know, he was carrying this team for a long time, and they still weren't winning on the road. So for me, I kind of look at that last matchup against the Raptors as somewhat of a rare match. 43 points by Jordan Poole. He's been kind of inconsistent up and down this season. So because of that, I'm going to side with the Knicks here at home. Another thing with the Golden State Warriors, you know, they're traveling across the country. They already went all the way to Toronto. Now they're going all the way to New York. This is a tough road trip for this team. Again, a team that's been playing very bad on the road. So I'm going to back the Knicks here, and I think someone like Julius Randle goes out and has a really good game tonight.
Moneyline Matt says, look at the Knicks minus the points. If you want the Knicks, get to the window right now. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, that game is getting hit as we speak. The 5s are gone. The 5.5s are going. It's moving to 6. DiVincenzo is the latest doubtful player for Golden State. So there are injuries affecting this number as we speak.
That's a key one, too.
Matt says, look at the Knicks right now. Matt, what do you have to promote? I know you're one of the featured handicappers over at sportsmember.com today.
Yeah, so we already got the $2 Tuesday play up, an NFL 4-unit bet for that one, and really just looking to keep this going. You know, last $2 Tuesday, we had the Chargers +3 as an upset over the Miami Dolphins. That one smashed. Was very happy to get that $2 Tuesday win for everyone, and we're trying to do it again. So I already got that NFL play up. I have some NBA locked and loaded, and just looking to keep this streak going, you know. So, again, 32, 18, and 2 over the last 30 days. Number 1 over at Sports Memo. Number 1 over at Sports Memo last 3 days. On top of that, up 46 units. So we've been rolling and just looking to close this season out, you know, and keep these wins coming.
There you go. Moneyline Matt, everyone. SportsMemo.com. Teddy, I just talked too much. We're up against it. No commercial break. Daniel's son, give Teddy his big game breakdown. Let's go.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk the Potato Bowl this afternoon in Boise. San Jose State and Eastern Michigan. Look at the WagerTalk live odds screen. Mostly 4s for the San Jose Spartans. There are some 4.5 starting to pop up. Total 54 out there. And I'll tell you, I always have a special place in my heart for the Potato Bowl. My very first year in Las Vegas, I kind of knew what was going on with bowl season, but I didn't realize that they were playing bowls at like noon on a Tuesday. And I walk into the Stardust. I'm looking for something else. And there's a blizzard going on. And Boise State's, I don't remember who it was. This is when Boise State was just moved from the Big West. To make a short story long, I got hooked into the game. Boise ended up winning. It was the start of that Boise big run. And that was one of the first things that made me love bowl season, was the fact you can go into a sports book at noon on a Tuesday and there'll be exciting action like there will be for this game between Eastern and San Jose State. And look, this is an Eastern Michigan team that went 5-7. They didn't beat a team with a winning record. Sorry, that didn't beat a team that was better than 5-7 this year for Eastern Michigan. So it's not like they spent the season beating up on good teams. Over the last 5 games, they were +10 in turnover margin. So they beat a bunch of crappy MAC teams when the weather was bad, winning the turnover battle. I look at that defense, especially in the secondary. All 5 starters, they play a 4-2-5 defense. All 5 starters are sophomores. When they faced a good passing game, like Cordero and San Jose, they had a lot of problems shutting them down this year. And the one thing the Spartans don't do, they don't turn the ball over. They've avoided mistakes like the plague all season long. A strong positive turnover differential team. The MAC's been a conference that I have no hesitation fading teams in the postseason. Eastern Michigan is a program that's never won a bowl game. I don't think it happens today. I think San Jose is the better of these two teams. I think show it on the field. And as long as they don't turn the ball over, they'll be just fine. Give me the Spartans -4. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers outstanding stuff. We got Dave Sharapan joining us, but I got to read what Roger Long wrote. Roger Long, again, one of our real loyal listeners. He writes, the last time he was in Vegas, he walked into a gay bar, not knowing it was a gay bar. You could imagine his surprise. They need to put signs up. Roger, nobody is buying this story. Like, nobody. There is literally not one single gay bar that I am familiar with in any casino or on the strip. So you had to have gone somewhere else. No one is buying your story, and it's okay. I love going to those bars. They're fun as hell.
So if you stay at the Hard Rock, which is now the Virgin, but if you stay at Hard Rock or Virgin, it's possible you could walk out the street and end, there's a couple of gay bars over there. It's possible you could walk into one by accident. That's the only casino I could think of that would happen.
Yeah.
Or the
I'm
Alexis
still not
Park
buying
Resort, which is
Roger's
right there
story.
as well.
Yeah, Roger, it's okay, Roger. It's okay. Dave Sharapan goes to these bars all the time, especially with that hat on.
Now that's a hat.
I mean, I'm trying to keep it in the shot, boys. It's a little bit heavy. I'm trying to keep it balanced. It's the holiday hat. Prez, that sounds like you're starting drama. I mean, I don't. There's no drama, especially on Tuesdays. Rogers is a follower of mine. I see him on a lot of the shows in the live chat.
We love Roger.
Roger's the best. There are places right off the strip, right around the strip.
And nobody is walking behind the strip randomly and voila, popped into a gay bar. It just no.
It can happen.
Somebody did.
It can happen.
If we buy his story. I mean, it
can happen.
Listen, I have a blast when I go to gay bars. I'm just that manly that I have no problems.
You go in there.
It's one of the only places where the women don't attack me.
How you doing?
Dude, it's one of the only places where the women don't attack me. And one time I was offered $300 for my tacos. I did say no, but that is a true story.
300.
Yeah, it's a totally true story. $300 for my tacos.
Shark money's on the under.
I said
Shark
no.
money's way on the under.
Were you wearing the
something actionable? You want to talk about your ass more?
I was. That's another story, but I was in chaps.
All right, fair enough.
The tacos was on full display. Dave, when was the last time there was a 31 on the board in the NFL? I cannot even remember.
I can't either. There was a game in Pittsburgh on a Monday night it was in Miami, where it was a hurricane conditions and stuff, and everybody was betting the under. I think the final score was 3-0. They were punting it, and like the ball would hit and stick like a wet golf course. The punt would stick in the mud. So I think that total got down to 32 back in the day. I don't remember anything like this. I don't remember a total like this in the NFL at all. I mean, we just saw it in college. The Iowa game the bowl game is that now, right? The Army-Navy game got low. It didn't get to 31, but I don't know. It's getting silly now. Like some of these games and some of these line moves and stuff, it's getting ridiculous as we get closer to the end of the regular season.
Well, let's talk bowls for a minute. There's two going today. We have the Potato Bowl at early start action, and then the Boca Raton Bowl tonight. What are you seeing in terms of the betting action? What would our listeners and viewers look for in terms of actionable info for these two?
I'm guessing the first game over, Eastern Michigan and San Jose State at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know where that game was being played. I thought that might have been a weather issue. But the other one is all Toledo. That's been all Toledo. I mean, it's interesting about the bowl games, especially now where you got opt-outs and kids playing, kids not playing, coaches leaving, some coaches not coaching the bowl game. Some of them are. All this motivation and all this other stuff is so hard to handicap. But somebody's playing them early, and you can just follow the steam. I mean, it's been one of those things where it doesn't even matter, where I think I think the bad guys are having a little bit of a start of a rough bowl season because they're taking the plus. A lot of them took the plus with Florida in the game that was here against Oregon State. Drove the number up to 10 because Florida decided that none of their players were playing. And you find value in a number that's never the right side. So Toledo's the side in that second game, Teddy.
Anything else stand out, let's say, for the pre-Christmas bowls? Anything this week stand out to you in terms of bowl betting action?
I haven't even looked. I haven't looked, and nobody said anything to me. I got a couple guys that shoot me plays, and I'll either talk about that on Sports Grid or tweet it at Sports BK and Sig. I haven't seen anything for the rest of those bowl games this week.
Dave Sharapan at Sports BK and Sig on Twitter, longtime veteran odds maker, and a good friend to WagerTalk Today. You can see him every Tuesday right here on this show.
Yes.
Let's shift our focus to hoops before we go to the NFL.
Okay.
Are there any popular, like in college basketball right now, are there any teams that are just getting money every time they play, big money? Like the wise guys have a favorite team? Do the Joes have a favorite team? Or is it still a little early for that?
No, I think you get favorite teams. Like right now, Golden State is a favorite. They were a favorite team to bet on all the time. And now they're a bet against on the road. I mean, everybody knows they're a bet against on the road. I think they're 2-15 this season on the road. And the money's already shown this morning on the Knicks. Golden State's on a road trip that they haven't been. I don't even think they've really been competitive. Maybe even the first half, maybe, but and then other teams, I mean, obviously, like the Lakers get money all the time, have for years here in Vegas. And then yesterday, they're playing the Suns. The line goes up, then it's Booker's not playing, it goes down, and then LeBron's not playing, it goes back up, and they're not competitive. So those are two of the main teams that get the action, at least here in Vegas. I don't know. Look at the board today. I mean, it looks like they bet the Bulls already. So against Miami. Phoenix is on a back-to-back. I'm sure the sharp guys, the bad guys will be on Washington in that spot once it's over 7.5. The books are looking to take bets there. Memphis is a popular team, Teddy. That's another one. That's a popular team. Ja Morant, the way that team plays, they love to bet those games over because they go over more often than not. So that's another team tonight, favored on the road. I think you'll see a lot of heavy public action on that.
When we get breaking information on WagerTalk Today, I want to give it to you as fast as possible. This is for tomorrow's bowl game, South Alabama, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky quarterback Austin Reed has been named the starter. He threw for 36 touchdowns this year. There were a lot of concerns as to whether he was going to play. I expect to see Western Kentucky coming right now. So if you're interested in that bowl game, again, that broke about a minute ago, maybe 2 minutes ago. If you like Western Kentucky, bet them sooner rather than later. Prez, let's talk to Mr. Sharapan about some NFL.
Dave, love having you on. Hat's incredible. The glasses are awesome. You should speak to Roger Long about the bars he goes to. Minnesota -3. A lot of money seems to be coming in on the Giants. Tennessee down to 5. A lot of money seems to be coming in on Houston. Obviously, we know what's happened with Jalen Hurts. Yep. Now we've got Dallas at -5.5. We've got totals bet down every minute. Every minute there's a total being bet down. It's absolutely crazy.
Yep.
I am fascinated by this week. There are so many line moves. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? Are there any bets that you suggest our listeners take?
Oh, I mean, against Minnesota's been just a cash cow. Just keep collecting and betting against Minnesota. You should have got paid off on the money line with the Colts if you did it this past week. First time ever, right? A team's comeback. That's the largest comeback in NFL history, 33-0. I don't know how the Colts don't win the game, but they didn't win the game. Tennessee's definitely a bet against. Makes perfect sense there with Houston. Cincinnati at New England's an interesting game. I think that a lot of people got to pay attention to. because, you get New England with the end of that game against the Raiders trying to do the Scott Van Pelt calls the pitchy woo-woo thing in a tie game, cost them the game. So now it comes just over a field goal, with the Bengals arguably being the best team, second best team in the AFC. Number feels light. I think you'll see a play on the Bengals. Dallas is, come on. Minshew mania. They're going to look for every reason to take the Eagles in that spot, the bad guys. Nobody else is. That's going to be one of those ones. Everybody's going to be on Dallas, and the books are going to need Philly huge. And then the last game on Saturday night is Vegas at Pittsburgh. And I was talking to some people at home. I was entertaining the thought of going back there. I got tickets and the whole thing and a box and all this stuff. But it's going to be 12 degrees. Like the high on Saturday is going to be 12. It's going to be so cold there. And Vegas ain't winning that game. Just telling you right now, you could play the Steelers on the money line. Christmas, well, we'll worry about Christmas on Christmas. It's going to be interesting because the NFL is competing with the NBA as far as action goes. Looks like all warm weather sites, a lot of overs on Christmas, a lot of overs.
Dave Sharapan at SportsBeatCake and Sig on Twitter. What would you like to promote, my friend, before we let you go?
Well, at least every day for the rest of this month, we'll be doing Bostonian versus the Book live at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. The replay airs on Sports Grid every night at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. I think we're going to do it in 2023. We're not sure yet. We're actually open for business, trying to get sponsors and all kind of other stuff. Got a curveball with that whole thing. Second of all, cash considerations and 8 in the Box is my daily, weekly shows on YouTube. You can find it. Cash Considerations Podcast is where you find the YouTube channel. We put a bunch of stuff there. Me, Dan Alexander, Carl Haskell, Brad Howe. And then every day from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern, Sports Grid, some Sirius XM 159, all that stuff. We'll find out what's coming up in 2023, boys. I don't know. Trying to get a hold of Rick is like trying to get a hold of the president, trying to nail down some sort of thing. But we'll get there. We'll get
there. Teddy, it's time.
Yes,
Thank you, Dave Sharapan. We love you, bro. We
See you,
made it
boys.
to 100 likes. Let's go, Dan. All right, guys, it's time for the daily presidential address, and I just want to let you all know I got a bunch of NHL plays to give out on the show, but I do have a 5% NHL bet going tonight over at WagerTalk. My 5% plays are freaking legendary. Dave Sharapan bets half his house on them on a regular basis. They are on a 6-1 run and 61% in 3 freaking years of these 5% plays. Head over to WagerTalk, grab that. As for your free picks tonight, look, I like under in the New York Rangers game. The number is 6. They're playing Pittsburgh. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game. I really like the Leafs tonight. It's a great spot for them and a terrible spot for Tampa Bay. My analysis on that game is up at WagerTalk. Check it out. It's in the free pick section. I like the Carolina Hurricanes today as well. And I like Calgary in regulation against the San Jose Sharks. That's it for the show. I'm going to Panthers for a pastrami sandwich with my bro, Teddy. Take us home.
That's not it for the show, because I'll tell you, when the breaking news comes, you guys are going to get it here first. Kenny Pickett upgraded to probable for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Money coming on Pittsburgh as we speak. If you like the Steelers, bet them now. If you like the Raiders, no urgency. That's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition of WagerTalk Today. I want to thank Moneyline Matt, Andrew McInnis, and Dave Sharapan for joining us. I want to thank all of you out there in viewer lane for taking time out of your busy day to spend with Prez and I. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games, and best of luck with your wagers.
holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.